Do you often find yourself waking up in the middle of the night for no clear reason? Your eyes open at 2 or 3 a.m., your mind suddenly alert, and your body feeling like it should be morning even though you're still tired? Many people are noticing that their sleep isn't as deep or as steady as it used to be. Falling asleep may not be the problem, but staying asleep has become harder than ever. Recent sleep research suggests this may be connected to changes in daily stress, irregular schedules, late-night screen use, and even small shifts in eating habits that can affect the body's natural sleep rhythm. When that rhythm gets out of balance, the brain may become active at the exact time it's supposed to be resting, which can leave you feeling exhausted the next day without knowing why. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. A lot of people are dealing with the same pattern, but don't realize what might be behind it. You can share in the comments what time you usually wake up at night. It's interesting how often the timing is almost the same for many people. In this video, we'll look at several everyday habits that may quietly affect your sleep cycle, including stress hormones, nutrition, screen light, and nighttime routines. And one of these is something many people do every evening without thinking about how it could be affecting their rest. Stay with me. The next part explains why this happens more often than most people expect. Waking up in the middle of the night has become surprisingly common lately, not just once in a while, but night after night, often at almost the exact same time. Many people say they fall asleep without much trouble, yet their eyes suddenly open at 2 or 3 a.m., and their mind feels alert even though their body is still tired. It can leave you feeling frustrated the next day, wondering why your sleep doesn't feel as deep or as refreshing as it used to. What makes this more interesting is that sleep researchers have been talking more about this pattern in recent years. As daily routines change and life becomes more fast-paced, more people report that staying asleep is harder than falling asleep. Instead of one clear reason, experts often explain that nighttime waking may happen when several small lifestyle factors slowly push the body's natural rhythm out of balance. One of the main things scientists look at when studying sleep is the body's natural stress rhythm, often connected to a hormone called cortisol. This hormone plays an important role in keeping the body alert during the day and helping it relax at night. In a normal cycle, the body produces more cortisol in the morning to help you wake up, and less of it in the evening so the brain can prepare for sleep. But modern life doesn't always follow a natural schedule. Long work hours, constant thinking, emotional stress, and irregular sleep times can make the nervous system stay active longer than it should. When that happens, the brain may not fully switch into its nighttime mode. Some people describe this as feeling tired but wired at the same time, and that can make the body wake up in the middle of the night even when there is no obvious reason. Another area that researchers often talk about is nutrition and how it affects the nervous system. The body needs certain minerals and nutrients to help muscles relax and allow the brain to slow down before sleep. Magnesium is one example that frequently comes up in sleep discussions because it plays a role in muscle relaxation and nerve balance. Modern diets sometimes include more processed foods and fewer whole foods, and that change can affect how the body feels at night. This does not mean that one nutrient can fix sleep problems, but studies often show that overall diet quality can influence how easily the body moves from an active state into a resting state. When the nervous system stays slightly tense, sleep may become lighter, and waking up during the night may happen more often. Eating habits late in the evening are also getting more attention in current health discussions. The body continues working long after dinner, especially if the meal is heavy or very sweet. During the night, the body tries to keep energy levels stable, and if that process becomes uneven, the brain may become more alert. Some research suggests that changes in nighttime energy regulation can make people wake up without understanding why. This is one reason many sleep experts talk about daily routine instead of only bedtime itself. When meals, sleep time, and activity change every day, the body may have trouble keeping a steady rhythm. Even small differences, like eating much later than usual or staying awake longer than normal, can make the brain less predictable during sleep. Because stress plays such a big role in sleep, many people are also interested in relaxation habits before bed. Simple routines like drinking herbal tea, reading quietly, or turning off bright lights earlier in the evening are often mentioned in wellness research. Certain herbs, such as chamomile, are commonly discussed in studies about relaxation, not as a cure, but as part of traditional habits people use to calm the mind. Adaptogenic plants are also being studied for how they relate to the body's stress response, although researchers usually say that daily routine matters more than any single ingredient. What seems to help most is consistency. When the brain sees the same calming pattern every night, it starts to recognize that it's time to slow down, and that can make sleep feel more natural. Light exposure at night is another topic that has become very important in recent years. Phones, televisions, and bright indoor lighting can confuse the body's internal clock. The brain depends on darkness to release signals that prepare the body for sleep, and when bright light continues late into the night, that signal may be delayed. Many people don't notice the effect right away because it builds slowly over time. Staying on the phone for an extra hour may not seem like much, but when it happens every night, the brain may start to think that bedtime is later than it should be. This can make the body feel awake at the wrong time, and for some people it leads to waking up during the night even when they feel tired earlier. Researchers also look at body temperature when studying sleep quality. The body naturally cools down before deep sleep begins, and this drop in temperature helps the brain move into a more restful state. Stress, late meals, or irregular schedules can interfere with this process. If the body stays too warm or too alert, sleep may feel lighter and easier to interrupt. Some studies look at how certain nutrients and amino acids are involved in relaxation and temperature regulation, but experts usually remind people that the body works best when daily habits stay steady. Going to bed at different times every night, eating at unpredictable hours, or staying active late in the evening can make it harder for the body to follow its normal rhythm. What makes nighttime waking confusing is that it usually doesn't come from only one cause. For many people, it's a mix of stress, diet, light exposure, and routine changes happening at the same time. Each one may seem small, but together they can slowly change how the brain and body handle sleep. This is why sleep specialists often talk about overall lifestyle instead of focusing on just one habit. When people start paying attention to their daily patterns, they sometimes notice connections they never thought about before, like feeling more restless after a stressful day or sleeping better when their schedule stays consistent. It's also important to remember that sleep patterns can change with age, work schedules, and life responsibilities. What worked years ago may not work the same way now, and that doesn't always mean something is wrong. In many cases, the body is simply reacting to a different routine than it had before. Understanding that can make the problem feel less worrying and more manageable because it shows that sleep is connected to everyday life in ways people don't always notice. Many viewers say the most frustrating part is waking up at almost the same time every night. When that happens, it can feel like the body has learned a habit that's hard to break. Researchers often explain that the brain likes patterns, even when the pattern isn't helpful. If the body gets used to being alert at a certain time, it may repeat that cycle until something in the daily routine changes. That's why awareness can be useful. When people understand the possible reasons behind their sleep pattern, they often feel more in control and less confused about what's happening. If this sounds familiar to you, you're definitely not alone. Many people notice the same kind of nighttime waking, but never talk about it, thinking it only happens to them. You can write in the comments what time you usually wake up, or what you think affects your sleep the most. Sharing experiences often shows how common these patterns really are, and it helps others feel less alone with the same problem. If you find these kinds of health discussions helpful, you can support the channel by liking the video or sharing it with someone who has been dealing with restless sleep lately. It helps more people learn about everyday health topics in a calm and clear way, and it allows us to keep making videos that focus on real questions people are already asking. And in the next part, we're going to look closer at some evening habits that seem completely normal, but may be affecting the brain's sleep rhythm without you realizing it, and one of them is something many people do every single night.